This is the MTPredictor Weekly Market Update for June 2nd. So let's go through. We've got a number of markets to go through, and we start with the S&P. This is the E-mini S&P anyway here, and where we are currently. We did have a little sell-off last week. If we check the Elliott wave pattern here, we did come into a wave 3, and we tagged that wave 3 and began to sell off. So let's just go ahead and project wave 4 down here. Let's use our little down wave 4 tool. I'm going to click once at wave 2 and once at wave 3, and this gives us our projection where if they do correct here, it should be back, or maybe back to this level here. And let's just look, that's right around the 55, 56 area in the current contract there. Now the other thing to note is if we kind of go back to the highs back in 2007, we're going to take our decision point tool, because this is going to give us an area of major resistance on the weekly here, and you can see the S&P has come just shy of that. If I'm going to check the STF here, our strong trend filter here is into the gray band at the top. That's telling us there may be more upside ahead. If that's the case, well, a couple of things I guess we could see here. I'm just going to expand this a little bit. We could see the strength soon and get into that weekly DP, or we could get the pullback now, and if this STF still stays strong, if this STF is still into the gray band at the top there, while this is pulling back, that's telling us then we're probably going to go wave 5 up before we get another corrective move. Alright, so that's the S&P there. Let's then take a look at, let's see, we're going to go to, let's do the Dow here, hold on. We'll do the Dow weekly here first, and you can see I've already got the decision point off of the 2007 highs there. It's already in its decision point, weekly decision point. If I put the Elliott waves on here, again, that was wave 3. It's gone beyond the typical wave 3 into the DP, so that is in resistance. That resistance does go above 16,000 there, and again, I believe we've got strength on the STF. On the Dow, you can see it's into the strength band there, telling us there may be more upside ahead. The question is the pullback going to come first, or is the more upside coming first? So if we just kind of project the wave 4 down there, that pullback around 14,004, call it 460 on the Dow there. Let's go to the NQ. And the NQ really doesn't have pattern-wise just this ABC, this measured move with the trend here. If we look at the, if I can pull up the monthly, you can see the all-time highs back here, and here's where we're sitting. I don't think there's any real clear pattern there. So we've gone through the last decision point here. That gave us the next leg up there, and so it's kind of got room to move there. It's going to be more impacted, I think, by the S&P and the Dow. And then we'll look at, here's the Russell on the weekly chart. Again, the Russell cleared their all-time highs there. If we take a decision point off of that, you'll see it took out that area. And let me just see the monthly chart here. Yeah, I've got that's that. Let's take a look at this last. This is the monthly. So you see the Russell is in this monthly DP resistance here. Hasn't cleared that level yet. It's right around the 1,000 is the kind of the top of that resistance area. It shot up there and is pulled back. So we'll have to watch that, because that is in an area of major resistance as well. As we get these markets, we get the S&P and its major resistance, the Dow, the Russell, then maybe we get the corrections. Right now we've got pattern corrections, at least in the YM and the S&P there, which is the wave threes. All right, silver, let's just go to silver here. We know that silver, because we were looking at the short side on silver, because we had the wave 4 in here, which we sold short down to wave 5. And you can see that 5-wave pattern is completed. Okay, so here is the wave 5 down. Again, typically you get a correction back to the wave 4 DP, and that would take silver back to around the $25 level. Now, if we look at the weekly, if I can pull the weekly chart up here, this is interesting, because on the weekly we know we had the major wave 5 pattern up there. Typically when you go wave 5 up, we get a correction again back to the wave 4 DP. Alright, this is the area we're in. This is a major support area, potential support area. If this area holds, then we should see this again rally at least back to the $25 level, and then we'll go from there. But here's the thing, if this area, we call it a decision point area, because if this area gives way to the downside, then we go back to, here's wave 1, we go back to the bottom of wave 1. Let me turn these crosshairs off here. We go to the bottom of wave 1, we take our decision point, alright, and that would put silver close to the $10 level. If this area gives way, we could see a drop down to $10, at least in the paper silver. We'll see what that kind of that may bring some major shortages for some of the silver bullion. So we'll see. This area, this is a critical area here for silver, and you can pretty much the same. You know, this will obviously follow gold, but the pattern here is a little more distinct. And of course, this was also the bottom of that descending triangle, which broke to the downside there. But we'll see if this area holds and silver begins to rally back to that $25 level. And then if this area, however, if that then rolls over, they take this area out below $20, you know, silver we could see down around that $10 level will be the next major support. All right, so we're going to go to the dollar index, and the dollar index, that DP long there, and the dollar index. Again, this is where your Jim Rogers and your some of the big names were buying. Let me get this on here. The dollar way back when, because everybody else was selling it. All right, that first target was achieved. I do think, if I just take a little decision point off of this level, this $85 level may be next. Now we're in this target area, so things could correct. And if we look at the euro is short. You know, we pointed that out a number of weeks ago. Both the daily and the weekly euro are short. There's the wave B swing on the weekly if we take a decision point off there. So that's going to be an area of support right around, what is that, 25.45. And then, well, we got a little swing here. We could take a decision point off of this as well, and that's right around 26.70. So you got a couple smaller areas of support, a little kind of head and shoulders pattern forming there. A little neckline there, so if that breaks, then may get a measured move down to the Probably somewhere down right around this level at 20 even. Just eyeballing it anyway. And so, and just beyond that's the DP. So we'll see how this finishes out, but these are still short. Again, if we go to the daily on the euro, you see the TS3 short there, and that target there right at 26.74. So we'll see how that finishes out. And then well, let's go to Apple on the weekly chart. So again, Apple went wave 5 up. Again, we expect that it will correct back to the wave 4 DP here. It obviously did that, but this wave 4 DP has given way. And so we're going to look at the wave 1 here, go back to the bottom of wave 1. Let's take our decision point tool. So the danger is, again, we talked about this before, that if Apple doesn't recover, it's having a real hard time getting back above 450. It's really going to need to get back above 500 to kind of get back out of the danger zone. But it's in danger here of coming down to this $260 level, which is the weekly DP off of the bottom of the wave 1 swing. So that tendency, if it corrects back to the wave 4 DP, if this area holds as support, then the trend, which was up prior, should continue up. But this came down further than it really should have, kind of overshot. And if it doesn't correct back up there fairly quickly, back above at least 450, but better 500, back above the top of this weekly DP support, the danger is they're going to correct this whole 5-wave pattern up to the downside. All right, so we'll keep an eye on that. Apple looks better on the daily chart as it's had the trend line down here, that it broke back above. It, retested the bottom of the trend line, so which was resistance, has become support, and has been able to hold above there, but it is again struggling to get above and hold above that 450 level. That's going to be a major level, and then back above 500. Should have a little wave B support here. Let's just look. Yeah, wave 2 or B. Let's just project up wave C for a second here, and just to see where that comes in. Okay, so that's right around 470 is the minimum wave C, and then we can take a DP off of the top, just coincide. So that 470 level should be a decent area of resistance if it gets up there. If it can break through that, then we should see this typical wave C, that $500 level. Again, if it fails, we know the danger is the price could get cut in half. All right, so we'll leave it there. We'll be back next week, and we'll go through these again and see where we're at. All right, have a good rest of your trading week.